I'm happy to introduce our speaker for today. Welcome, Prakash Amatia. Thank you for joining us today. Prakash is the Nepal country representative for Aerosan Toilets and also serves as CEO of the company's local social enterprise, Aerosan Sustainable Sanitation. And we will play a quick introductory video where Prakash is presenting himself.
Namaste, I am Prakash Amatya. I am country representative to Aerosan in Nepal. We build and manage smart public toilets in public-private partnership with the municipalities. Our pay-for-use public toilets are financially sustainable. They cater to women and disabilities and include a waste-to-value system that generate renewable biogas from the human waste. We train and employ our women operators from the minority Dalit communities to uplift their economic standards.
Wonderful, great introduction. So Prakash is really, apart from his engagement with Aerosan, he's doing a lot of work, community work with migrant and underprivileged urban communities in Nepal, working on the development of urban water supply and sanitation policies that benefit the impoverished and promotes awareness and compliance with these policies. So he's really doing a lot of things, wearing a lot of different hats, and I'm very happy that he's with us today. So welcome, Prakash, and over to you for the presentation. Looking forward to it.
Namaste to everybody. Jan, thank you very much for this opportunity. Let me share my slide. So I'm very privileged to be part of this kind of webinar, and today we are going to talk about the very important component of the whole sanitation value chain, and it's all about the sanitation workers. It's kind of like we are in the sector know that sanitation workers provide invaluable public service that is very important in our daily life, and that plays environmental aspects as well as also to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 6. So you can see in this video, how their life and livelihood they are going through. But having said that, is yet ignored that in Nepal also sanitation workers are one of the most marginalized and excluded population, and they belong to a special Dalit community, be it in a hillside or in Tarai or in every part of the society. So the sanitation component, the sanitation community comes from the so-called Dalit sector, and their social protection upliftment is crucial to ensure inclusiveness and inequitable growth. But at present, sanitation services get delivered in various forms. So partly the formal with the government institutions like municipalities, and through the service providers like private companies, especially the agents, and they are informal. And sanitation workers are frequently exposed to highly vulnerable different contaminants, and they have injuries, no safety, and no occupational health and safety regulations in the country. So in this table, you can see how the different category of the waste or the sanitation workers are categorized. So only in the Kathmandu Valley, we have more than 4,000 sanitation workers. So this is the kind of gender classification, in waste collection, you can see sweeping and cleaning, and drivers and their helpers are also the very substantial number which they carry the garbages. So segregation is mostly the informal, and waste treatment plants. And these rag pickers are the most informal group, which also support in managing the solid waste. And this tariff collection and management associated with the private collectors are also the part of this whole sanitation value chain. So in this whole part, the public toilet, the public sanitation sector is again neglected. So the public toilets in Kathmandu Valley and in the highways and in other cities are not in a condition that you would like to go if you are in a very emergency. So Aerosan Hub in 2017 started its mission to improve the public sanitation, the public toilets in Kathmandu Valley. So we have integrated environment component, the dignity of the workers with the job opportunities, especially with the women, and obviously the inclusiveness of the users and the infrastructure in this whole public sanitation package. So these are some of the pictures. This first picture show you that public toilet is well equipped with a sensor-based automated system to conserve the water as well as to increase the value of the sanitation services. And you can see the staff with the uniform and all those safety gears while they work for their ensuring the safety and health. And these are the two public toilet sites, which you can see as a very elegant, and then that adds on to the kind of like the user's perspective and their health aspect of the public toilet that we have started in Kathmandu. So one of the major components, as I have explained, is the worker. So what we have found through our studies and interactions, like in the public toilets, the workers are the most neglected and they are underpaid, and they have to work for more than 12 hours on duty, and still it's very difficult for them to sustain their livelihood. So we thought that it would be a kind of like required that these sanitation workers be organized and empowered so that they can do their work more professionally and bring change in the service. So in 2017, we started with a group of these sanitation workers as an independent sanitation workers group. So now we have almost more than 1,100 members in this cooperative group, where 47% are the female. And this group is also gender inclusive. The chairperson, secretary, and treasurer all are female. So in a way that the decisions in the cooperative group is led by the women sanitation workers. And they have an executive board of 7, and where 4 are females. And we conducted several leadership programs, and you can imagine that coming from the marginalized and Dalit community background, they have less opportunity of education and exposure as well. So it's very challenging to bring the desired behavioral and professional skill changes within their community itself. So this is one of the leadership and capacity development program that we have been continuously running to help empower this cooperative group. And along with that, we run the professional training course as well. That is based on their knowledge and skills. So which is a tailor-made program so that they can deliver a professional service while they join the Aerosan Hub. So Aerosan Hub is none other than the modern sustainable public toilet, which Aerosan is providing to Kathmandu. And you can see here the Aerosan Hub staff, the sanitation workers in their uniform, standing with the mayor of the Lalitpur metropolitan city. So this, the business model of this intervention is Aerosan as a social enterprise brings the capital investment, builds the infrastructure, and develops the management plan, and the local government provides the land and facilitates the policies and regulations and facilitates the community. And this independent sanitation workers group, the cooperative, solely manages and operates these public toilets. So they are the torchbearer of this Aerosan Hub. And with this kind of like intervention, they feel dignified and they have expressed their satisfaction over the job. And another challenging part with working with the sanitation worker is their saving habit. They have very highly disposable income. So they do not have practice of saving from their earnings. So this saving and credit within the cooperative has leveraged them to have saving, and which as of now in the cooperative, they have 100,000 cash deposit, while they have utilized 600,000 as a credit. And this has helped to have a financial access to the sanitation workers. So all these members are not the employee of the public toilet. So they are in a different sanitation jobs. So this cooperative has brought them together for their upliftment. And it was very unfortunate during the COVID-19 pandemic. So they were out of job, and those who are in the garbage or the waste management, their life was in a risk. So during that time, we were able to generate the support, and we introduced this kind of like personal protective equipment, and we provided support. Also, we provided the food and hygiene relief for the work. So that was the kind of like a timely support to sustain and to keep them up in the job. Further, this cooperative is running a different health awareness program for the members, which has also helped them to overcome their mental and other health and hygiene issues. So the group has been very instrumental in supporting their members other than their job and their financial access. So during the lockdown, there was a completely closure of all the businesses, at least for the 5 to 6 months in Kathmandu in Nepal. So during that time, the cooperative has come forward with the digital literacy program. So one of the remarkable thing that the cooperative did is during that time, the toilet operators were given the smartphones where they gradually learn to use Zoom and other platforms to communicate. And that platform was capitalized to train them, to expose them in other relevant activities like rooftop gardening, rooftop farming, and to produce and to make the reusable sanitary pad and other stuff that is very helpful in their day-to-day life. So there are some remarkable voices from the members that a garbage collector, a member of this cooperative group, said that she didn't have any marks provided by her employer, but she learned to use these cloth masks and gloves, so which was very helpful because of this kind of like cooperative intervention. And similarly, another member said that they were underpaid at that time, but with the intervention of the cooperative, they were able to sustain as they get some food relief. And then the sanitation worker at the Erasan hub was not much affected, whether it was a very pandemic situation, because of this the support and from the cooperative group that it has brought from other sources. But still, as I have explained before, the behavioral change of these sanitation workers is a huge challenge for us, because they are very mobile and they are very inconsistent, and this kind of job is primarily predominant by the certain caste group. So to bring a kind of like inclusive job opportunity is still a difficult part. Though we have introduced 2 deaf women in our hubs, but it still is a kind of like a big way to go. And the government has introduced this minimum pay scale, but in this sector, that's not been very effective. And then there is an absence of this occupational health and safety regulation and policies in our context. So this is something that we really need to improve. So here is a story of the sanitation worker who are the part of this cooperative. So here I'll run this video.
नमस्ते, म पद्मा देउला। म बिहान 1 वरामा नक्सालमा ठेकामा काम गर्नुहुन्छ, रोड बराल्ने काम। उता सकेर 6 बजेदेखि 8 बजेसम्मको ड्युटी हो, अनि उता सकेर फाइनेन्सतिर जान्छु।
म बालकुमारी एनसीआईटी कलेजमा काम गर्थेँ हैन। उता चाहिँ 12 घण्टाको ड्युटी हुन्थ्यो मेरो, तर स्यालेरी चाहिँ 8000 मात्रै दिन्थ्यो। तर त्यहाँको स्यालेरी चाहिँ मलाई नपुग्ने भएर म चाहिँ यो हाम्रो एरसन हबमा जोइन गरे हो।
काम गर्दाखेरि मोबाइल पनि थिएन, के पनि थिएन। अहिले हाम्रो खुसी छ।
यता एरसन हबमा काम गरेको बेलामा चाहिँ हामीलाई मतलब सरकारीको अनुसारले स्यालेरी दिनुभएको छ। अनि हामीलाई सरसफाइ यस्तो मतलब क्लिनर भनेर चाहिँ मुनि राखेर कहिले हामीलाई सरहरूले त्यस्तो हेला गर्दैन। फ्यामिली जस्तै हामीलाई यहाँ राख्ने अगाडि एरसन हबमा जब राख्ने अगाडि चाहिँ हामीलाई सरसफाइको तालिम दिएर सबै ट्रेनिङहरू दिएर राखेको
छ सरले। अनि त्यो सहकारीमा बचत गर्नु पनि सिकाएको छ। पहिला त हामीले बचत गर्नु पनि थाहा थिएन। अहिले चाहिँ आफै पछिको भविष्यको लागि चाहिँ बचत गर्नुपर्छ भनेर अलिअलि भए पनि हामीले बचत गरिरहेको छौँ। कोरोनाको बेलामा चाहिँ त्यो बेला पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ धेरै नै हेल्प गर्नुभएको थियो सरले। हामी अफिस नआउँदाखेरि पनि हामीलाई चाहिँ तलब चाहिँ घरमा पुर्याउने पनि गरेको थियो सरले। अनि पछि हामीलाई चाहिँ रासनको पनि व्यवस्था गर्नुभएको थियो सरले हामीलाई चाहिँ सबैजनालाई।
Thank you, Yan. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I'm here if you have any queries and questions.
Thank you very much, Prakash, for the presentation. We actually had questions coming in already during the presentation. And I think more are coming in right now, but let's start with the very first one coming from Andres, who asked whether you could explain a bit more about the cooperatives, kind of like how it is organized, the governance structure, and then a related question, how independent is it from Erosan at this stage?
Mm-hmm. We have a seed money supported to this cooperative, and they have their own governance and executive body that they decide. So since it's a very early stage, so Erosan has been supporting them in the awareness capacity, like training, and then linking them with the job opportunities. So we have employed around 20 members in our Erosan hub toilets at the moment. So this is the kind of like relationship with the cooperative, and they still need support to kind of like strengthen the individual members' skill, like to map their skills, and also like provide them certain further skills on the sanitation aspects, like in different categories. So this is some of the part that we are working out together to grow them further.
Okay, great.
And I have seen one question here. What is the revenue model? How is going to sustain in future? So the primary revenue is from the user fee. So these toilets are pay-per-use model, and we have a cafe that's run by the biogas. So the urine and feces that comes out from these toilets doesn't go to the sewer or to the river water bodies. So that is contained in a digester, anaerobic digester, and we have this biogas. So this biogas is used to run the cafe. So that is another revenue stream. I hope this is something. And then we have a projection of like 800 users per day. So that will help to sustain the operation and maintenance costs of these toilets. Jan, do you think that I should read these questions on the chat and start answering, or
if you want to, I mean, if you want to pick the questions yourselves, we can also do that. I mean,
okay.
Otherwise, I would pick them. But if you feel free to pick the ones that you want to say something
okay.
about.
So I think it will be fair that I will go from the top.
So I think the next one would be Sanjay Singh. Explain the critical stages of the formation and until they start functioning at their own. So how long does the support usually last?
Yeah. Thank you, Sanjay. If I got the message of your question correctly, that we have an arrangement of like 10 years tenure to support this cooperative, so that we have planned during that time they will be able to come up with their own stage that they can be on their own. So I hope this helps. And then there is another question from Anjali. Yes, and definitely we are not limiting to this specific community, but these women groups from certain caste group, the Dalit, are dominant in this sector. So we have already introduced two deaf women from different caste group, and because of the mindset and the current situation of the public toilet in the Kathmandu Valley is another challenge for the cooperative group to find the staff or the operators to come and run this kind of like toilet, even though I mean they appreciate. So it's a kind of like social taboo that I mean people don't prefer to work in a toilet. So this is something that is where we are working to demonstrate that the job in the public toilet is equally dignified as working as a waiter. So it could be a part of the sanitation and hygiene hospitality business. There is another question from Sabita. Okay, so for this operation and management part of the public toilet, we do not support any funding. So it will be the part of the revenue generation from the users fee and the cafe. So initial month, we support in the recruitment. So there is no funding support from the local government besides providing the land and other policy support. So far, it's been running very well. Besides, we had, I mean, actually the cooperative had some difficulty during the pandemic lockdown. So where Aerosan came in and supported with their salaries and some relief activities. So this also demonstrates well that the public toilet is a potential service business in a sanitation sector. And there is a question from Mingma.
Yes, should we just quickly maybe like read out the questions? I could do that. So Mingma writes, the toilet design looks great. He's again asking about revenue streams. You spoke a bit to that already, whether the public toilet operations meet the expenses, and is there a cost recovery element envisioned? Is there anything, I mean, I think you spoke a bit to the revenue generation before. Is there anything you wanted to add in this context?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Once again, a bit more, could you explain the organizational structure of the Aerosan Hub?
So Aerosan is a private company registered in Nepal. So it's a non-profit, and the relationship, this cooperative is independent and autonomous. So we have a relationship as a partner, but we help them to organize and register, and then so we are promoting them as an independent sanitation worker group. So we envisage that they will be coming forward to do the sanitation business. Like, I mean, they can do the services, they can provide the cleaning services in the hotel industries, schools, offices, and business malls. So this cleaning, and other than cleaning, like jobs which normally in the sanitation sector, So to support them initially, so we have a kind of like a model where Aerosan develops the public toilets, and they get the job employment in those public toilets. So that's kind of like bonding with this cooperative. So that ensures that their members get the job to start with, and further, like I mean, we are providing them skill training, so which make them sellable in the market. So market-based training we are giving to them.
Okay. The next question is related or just a clarification. So the workers in the video, are they employed by Aerosan? Because I think some of them mentioned that they, now get their wages paid on time from Aerosan, but are they Aerosan employers, or is Aerosan just supporting them in their work?
So this is something like this. So we create the infrastructure, we establish, and the management and operation part is the responsibility of the cooperative. So in the beginning, like I mean, first 3 months, it depends, no? First 3 months, so we provide the salaries and the operation support, like cleaning materials and other things. So once the revenue starts coming, and that is their own resources which they utilize to pay. So that's why I said, like, over the 10 years, so they will be independent running these toilets, and also like generate the capital to scale.
Okay. And how long did you say does the scaling usually like take until they are sufficient on their own, until they are on their own feet?
Our calculation shows like 5 years. So
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the kind of like, I mean, we have a plan, but generally it is decided by the number of toilets that we will be able to build.
Yeah.
That's the formula, right? So we have a plan to build like 50 toilets in 3 years' time.
Great. Revenue model we already discussed. Please share more details from a technology perspective regarding the toilets. Do you want to?
Sorry?
I think Mohammed wants to know some more details about the toilets that you built.
Okay, so this public toilet model has primarily 4 components. So one is the infrastructure itself. So it's a state-of-the-art, inclusive, and gender friendly. So you have a disabled friendly, you have women friendly, elderly, children friendly, and then it's all sensor based. So it's a touchless also. So you don't need to touch for hand wash, soap, and hand dryer, and even the Indian type pan that we have introduced is auto flush. So why we introduced auto flush is that, number one, it is linked with the dignity primarily, because in this 21st century, I couldn't accept someone working there will be touching the feces and cleaning and all those things. So once it is automated, so it will flush it away. So you have less human intervention to clean the toilet. So that is number one. And the second thing is conservation of water, because that will regulate the water use. And other thing is, like, the COVID-19 pandemic has taught that, I mean, the touchless is something is important, no? And hand hygiene and all those things. So we made it touchless. So we made it automated, and that is the infrastructure, like well ventilation, and we have sensor lights, no? All those things. So infrastructure is basically the primary part, which is very visual, appealing, no? Attractive. And the second thing is the employment. So employment, the inclusive employment, focusing to the marginalized population and women, upgrading their skill, creating the job opportunities. And thirdly, the environment component. So the feces, wastewater that is treated and reused. So we recycle the water and put it into a flask. So that helps to kind of like mitigate the water and conserve the water. And fourth thing is kind of like to set the standards and push our government, so to accept that and as a role model, which they can take it over and then upscale. So that's given an opportunity for them to see and to get inspired and then to promote. So these four things is in this package, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, actually, since you spoke a bit about government involvement, that is one of the next questions. So at what level does the government support what you're doing on the ground?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was very, very challenging to convince the local government, because there was a practice of leasing the facility, and the facility was bidded with a fee. So that's why the contractors or the operators are not interested in running the toilets. So they get it with a high fee, but they operate it in a different way. So morely profit orientated. So this is where our success is. We discontinued that trend. So we are not paying any lease fee or rental fee to the government. So this is the major support from the local government, and hats off to our leaders, mayors and other officials. So actually this was a very difficult task, because in South Asia, not only in Nepal, in South Asia, public toilets being in a prime land is the major attraction of the land mafias. So where they acquire these public toilets and run other business. So that was a major support in the beginning. And now, like Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Livelihood Metropolitan City, and other metropolis and municipalities in the valley, they have come up with a very substantial budget also. So like Kathmandu, they have 5 billion rupees, to construct the public toilet as per the standards of this Erosan hub model. And these municipalities has already put in their fiscal plan and budget that every ward, the smallest unit of the municipality, will have 2 public toilets, the standard public toilets. So that policy is coming on. So it's coming up, but what we received from the local municipality is very significant, and it was the land and policy support.
Great to hear. Okay. Next question is technical. What is the production capacity of the gas from the digester?
Yeah, this is very interesting. It was also another very challenging task for us, that the model or the system that we introduced is a homegrown. It's made in Nepal biodigester technology. So it was widely used in the rural areas, especially with the livestock waste, agriculture waste. So public toilet in our system, the digester solely input is the human waste. So we were almost discouraged to use that system in the beginning, because there was no such evidence that it will generate substantial biogas from the human waste. But our experiences show that we are producing from these toilets around, it depends on the size, like we have 6 cubic meter to 25 cubic meter size of biodigesters, depending on the land availability and also the user's volume. So we decided these digesters. So we have 1 cylinder a month at minimum LPG gas. So that is 14.5 kilogram LPG equivalent biogas that we generate, which is more than sufficient to run the cafe.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
That's the kind of like general
Perfect segue to the next question, which is about the cafe and about kind of like people's behaviors. Do people have an issue going to a cafe which is next to a toilet, or was that a problem?
issue. You mean, okay, the cafe, yeah?
Yeah.
So
okay.
our first toilet, that's in the World Heritage Site in Swayambhu, Buddha Park. So we have a cafe at the middle of the toilet. So there is a social stigma with that. So we actually changed the design with that kind of response, but not for everybody. Like the vendors, those who are the regular users, they are quite comfortable and happy. But I mean the visitors, they find it awkward to eat in that cafe. So our new design in Patandhoka has a cafe with the toilet, but at the corner. So these are something that we are experimenting with the design as well.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Sabita. I think you spoke already about the production of the biogas, but she also would like to know where in Kathmandu or Nepal are the toilets located, as in like maybe like where and how many you have in Nepal, in Kathmandu. And in the
Are the other toilets or these Aerosan toilets?
I think she's probably asking about the Aerosan toilets.
Okay, so it's simple. We have registered these toilets on the Google map. So if you Google Aerosan Hub, you can easily find the location of these Aerosan Hub toilets. So as of now, we have 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just type Aerosan Hub in the Google, you can find the location. I think that's convenient.
That's great. That's definitely the first thing I'm going to do after we end the webinar.
Yes.
Very nice. Interesting question from Bruce. What would be the requirement for a new startup company to join the cooperative? And what would be the support? So if someone new would want to start a business with you.
We are very much welcome to new ideas and new partnership. So I mean, anything that we have experience would be happy to kind of like exchange our. So like, I mean, it could be a training or it could be exposure. Like, I mean, we have a delegate from Bangladesh visiting Nepal. It's a part of the ITP SUAS program from Sweden. So they are visiting our facilities tomorrow. So that kind of support that we can definitely give. And then if any groups are new ideas, we are much more welcome to that.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Prerana's question. Other than maintaining public toilets, what type of sanitation or other jobs are the members of the cooperative involved in? Or is it only operators of public toilets? Or are there any other?
No. These members are not only in the public toilets, as I have explained before. 20 of their members are in Aerosan Hub. So others are still in a kind of like conventional job, like waste management, like an door-to-door collection of the garbage. Some are working in the offices, business malls as a cleaner, no, and some work with the fecal sludge cleaning. So those kind of things. So all different kinds of work. Some are in the street cleaning, like early morning, they go for sweeping the street. So all different kinds of work related to sanitation.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. You have touched upon that briefly, but a question from Dennis. How have you dealt with the effects of stigma of sanitation workers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is something we found very positive with this intervention. So number one, the motivation factor is the salary. So these workers, you also heard in the video, the voices, that these members, they are underpaid. So we started with the government scale. So that's the kind of like the major attraction, major motivation for them. And the other thing is the infrastructure itself, because it's clean and attractive, nice, no? So the toilet itself is a very appealing. So they feel like they are going to office, no? So like other kind of job. So that's what they express. And the uniform, they have the uniform. And the other important thing is like they get their salaries on time. So this is another issue of these members working in other kind of like other sectors in the sanitation itself. So their salaries are pending. So these things, they are more willing and they are more than happy to come. So we are growing in the sense. So we also facilitate. I mean, we means the cooperative, right? Because this is something like an cooperation. So let's not confuse like an Aerosan and the cooperative. So when I'm saying we means like the cooperative is facilitating their members to get the very professional jobs in other sectors. So Jan also suggested like, I mean, to have someone from the cooperative. Unfortunately, because of the language barrier and other things, I couldn't do that. Sorry for that. But that's how they operate. And then we have a Srishti here, my colleague. So she is the focal point to work with them on a regular basis. So that's how we support and we backstop on their programs.
Okay. Thank you. Are the toilets inclusive / accessible to all? Yes, they are public toilets, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's open. It opens at 6 in the morning, okay, and it closes at 8 in the evening. And then accessibility, like, I mean, it's a wheelchair friendly toilet. Wheelchair friendly, and also tactiles are used for the blinds, and we have also the kind of like signage in the lock, so that is friendly for the deaf people also. And the employment is also inclusive, because we have, I mean, this cooperative group has employed 2 women who are deaf.
Okay. Different question. Chan Mie wants to know about the current fecal sludge treatment technologies in Nepal.
In this public toilet, we have used a combination of this the anaerobic digester and this constructed wetland for the grey water. But there are other technologies as well. So I think that could be a different session. And I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not.
So we only have 4
expert.
minutes left. There was another question about the PPE. I think you showed some PPE. This was COVID PPE, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So that was during the COVID pandemic in the beginning. Actually, it's a part of the occupational health and safety that these workers at least use proper gear, no, proper safety gear, gloves, masks, helmet, boots, and other things. But that has never been seriously taken because of the lack of availability of these equipments from the employer. So when the pandemic was there and complete shutdown, and they have to work because the government declared it as an emergency service, essential service, no, as an essential service. So the function wasn't stopped, but then, like, I mean, what they can do, no, because everybody was scared and nobody knew what kind of pandemic is this, what kind of like disease is this, no. So then we step forward and we supported this cooperative, and then we helped them with this PPE, and that's how the work resumed. So these kind of like protective gears, and then masks, and then food relief, no, and also facilitate them to get the vaccination, all those kind of things.
Wonderful. Wow, there was a lot of interest, many questions. There is another one. How can people get in touch with you or Erosan if they want to know more? Or Leila is even asking about organizing a potential visit to see the toilets. Is that possible, and how can people reach you?
Yeah, I have typed my mobile number. I am on WhatsApp. It's on the chat. Is that okay, Jan?
Yeah, sure. Should I also, because I have it open, just put the Erosan website in?
Yeah, and then I have also text my email ID. So you can directly write to me and also add me on WhatsApp. I'm also on Facebook, so you can also text me on the messenger. So Facebook Messenger is more common. So, and I'm also on WhatsApp, no worries. So, so everyone welcome to visit, and it's open. So you can just drop in to any of these toilets. And if you come to visit in Budapest, so we have a strategy there. So our slogan there is pee free, take tea. So we have a user fee of ₹15, and with that you get a free tea or free pee. So that is possible. And then in all our hubs run by this cooperative is linked with the biodigester. So we have a free gas from your seat. So anyone around Kathmandu invited to come and contribute and enjoy the tea.
What a lovely invite. Thank you so much, Prakash. I think that was indeed a very informative session. I think that was the longest Q&A we have had so far in our sessions. That there was so much interest and so many questions on, the various aspects of your presentation. So that was really wonderful. Thank you again for the inspiring presentation and really for taking the time to answer everybody's questions, and wishing you all the best of luck for continuing the work with the cooperative and with Erosan. And we at FSMA, we agree that it's absolutely fundamental to strengthen and to formalize the livelihoods and working conditions for sanitation workers everywhere. So really thank you for all the work that you are doing, and for sharing this brilliant example from Nepal with us today. Thank you everyone in the audience for your interest, for your questions. Very engaging group today, and so great to see that there's so much interest in this topic. Prakash, do you wanna say any last words to our audience?
First of all, I would like to thank Jan and FSMA, because I remember that, and you are the one who is following me since a very long time, because I have submitted this as an abstract, and then so I'm very grateful that, I mean, you kept on chasing me. So I didn't realize that it could be such a huge interest, and yeah. I'm very grateful that, I mean, I could be a part of to share this knowledge, and then and I hope that I was able to motivate and then contribute something to the sector with this kind of like webinar. And I would love to continue with several other information, so we can do another series with specific like infrastructure, like biodiversity, whatever, no? Mm-hmm. So it depends on the audience interest as well. And further, I would like to thank all the listeners, audience who helped me to interact and clarify more in detail. And then I think this is something like, I mean, we need to promote globally. So we are privileged to receive a recognition from Safati Sanitation Challenge. It was held in World Water Week in Stockholm. So we were selected among the best 5 solution. So that is a proud moment for us. And then we were also recognized by UN Sustainable Technology Innovation in 2021. And the government of Nepal has recently announced that we have been awarded a national award for this intervention. So I think I need your hand holding, like we have been doing to the sanitation workers cooperative. So please help these workers, this model basically, to grow in the region. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on the awards, very well deserved. And yes, we have been planning this session for, I think, over half a year, but it didn't get to happen due to different reasons. So I'm happy that we made it today. And thank you so much. And we will definitely stay in touch and see what else could be done again in the future. But for now, thank you, Prakash. Great session today. Thanks a lot. And then I'm going to wrap this up. What's up next? We do have another session confirmed for mid-May on a case study in South Africa. We will be posting more details on that very soon. But apart from that, thank you again, Prakash, on all attendees for your time today and for your input. We hope to see you again at the next FSMA webinar. But until then, have a great rest of your week and be sure to support your local sanitation workers. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao.